4, 4, 2, dudes. And welcome back to another episode of 442 Dudes. Exactly the same thing that you commented on YouTube, by the way. So thank you very much to, I think, 12 of you. Thank you very much.
Was it 12? Yep.
I think about 12.
Yeah,
I think about 12.
Those who commented were on our YouTube channel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. What else? Spotify,
Facebook, Instagram. But actually, you can see on the scroll bar below. Yeah.
I mean, we can't see, but you can see. So don't forget to subscribe.
Yep. So before we start, just want to comment on your dressing today, Ben. I mean, because this is a football podcast, right? But you are dressed looking like you're going fishing, right?
That's because today is our second episode, so I have to fish for subscribers. So all of you who haven't subscribed, we're fishing for subscribers. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe. Walao, I'm gonna fish you right now. No, but yes, I think really, we got a lot of things to share. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And all our segments that we have here today. So what's gonna be our first segment?
The first segment is of course called 19 Minutes Off. So there's a lot to share with you guys, so just stay tuned because we will be going straight into it very shortly.
And don't forget, 442 Dudes brought to you by CCB TV. Welcome back. This is the segment now we're going to share about the 90 minutes. And what do we have for them today?
Yes, oh wow, Ben. There's so many things to talk about this week. Where are we going to start, man? Okay, let's start with something that's very interesting. It's happening over the last many years, but I think recently it's kind of lost its spark.
Oh.
And what are we talking about? It is, of course, the classic derbies.
Wow.
So for those who didn't realize, last week actually two important derbies took place. The first one was the El Clasico. Did you watch the game?
Well, I mean, I saw the highlights of it.
Okay.
Barca versus Real Madrid. Yeah.
So what do you think of the game?
Controversial, I think, in my opinion. But I think I got something to say.
Okay.
I'm not sure lah. But the derbies these days always is about something that happened last minute, no? I mean, this one happened about 90 plus minute, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, the winner was scored at the 90th.
Like really 90 plus minute. And yeah, but I just want to say, like no spark lah. I mean, you got friends who got say the derby, man. I don't have lah. None of my friends brought it up. None of them say, "Hey, did you watch the Barca derby?" No one really said.
Yeah,
that.
and I tend to agree with you, right? I mean, now, in the past, all these derbies, there's always this huge build-up, in the media, all over social media. The times, especially El Clasico, we talk about Ronaldo versus Messi, but this time around, but no, just no news.
You don't even talk about Vinicius Junior. You don't talk about Lewandowski. You don't see that sort of rivalry.
Which is very interesting because I thought, I also watched the highlights. I didn't watch the full game itself, but I watched the extended highlights, and I just want to say, actually, I thought the game was not too bad.
Yeah.
If I'm being very honest, and if I just want to just elaborate a little bit more about the game, I thought Barcelona fully deserved the win. Right.
Okay.
I mean, Courtois kept them in a game with a lot of different many wonderful saves. But I think they are looking very different under Xavi right now.
So, very quick question. Do you think now they're doing... Oh, I think this is a stupid question, actually. Do you think they're doing better under Xavi versus Koeman?
Oh, definitely. I mean, let's look at it this way. Yes, both were former players of Barcelona and everything, but I think Xavi kind of represents what Barca is all about.
Okay.
I mean, he was part of the team that really... I don't know. He was from La Masia, right? He was brought in at the school La Masia.
The academy lah.
Correct. Whereas Koeman was a senior player when he went to Barcelona, so he may not have been integrated into the whole system as well as Xavi or Xabi, whatever you want to pronounce it. Xavi is Xavi, am I right?
Xavi, don't know lah. Xavi.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell us what's the correct pronunciation, but yeah, I mean, I really think that they are doing really, really well under Xavi. His ideas, his ideology, his strategies is really going out to the players right now, and I just thought, wow, Barcelona is different. They look more confident. And if I may just add on, they are now 12 points clear at the top of La Liga.
Right.
So last week you were talking about the
dynasty,
Arteta dynasty. Is this going to be Barcelona?
Right.
Xavi's dynasty now? Start of his dynasty?
It could be. I mean, it could be. And you were talking about the derbies earlier. What's the other one that caught your eye and may not have caught the other people's eye?
Oh, the other one. I think Serie A.
Okay.
The one of the biggest derbies in the history of Italian football, which is Lazio versus Roma in the Rome derby. Very unfortunately, I think this game just basically there's no... I wouldn't even say lost his spark. There was no spark at all,
right?
In my opinion. I mean, Roma had a player sent off. Ibanez got sent off for 2 stupid yellow cards. He was sent off in the 30th minute, and basically was just one-way traffic for Lazio, and I think Roma kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. I don't know. There's something about Mourinho's team that they have a tendency to kind of self-destruct.
Okay.
In some ways,
okay.
I don't know, but for some reason, by some miracle, they are still in the race for the Champions League spot in the Serie A. And in the game itself, it was quite interesting because they actually managed to score a goal, right? But it was ruled out for offside. And if you guys go and look at the replay, okay, you can go on to all the other websites where you want to see. Try to look for the extended highlights. Try to look for the extended highlights. Why? Because they really showed the full replay, the VAR consultation and everything. And in my opinion, I think Smalling was not offside. So there's this thing about this offside rule that's very confusing. So I thought Smalling wasn't offside, but he was ruled offside. And after watching the replay many times, I still don't fully understand why he was ruled offside. Yeah, because I think the opposing defender was the one that headed the ball to him. But I don't know. You guys take a look at the highlights. Share with us in the comments what you really and truly think about the Roma's disallowed goal. Yeah. Yes,
and also very quickly, it also involved VAR this time, correct? And again, VAR is quite controversial, as we said last time as well. So let us know if VAR got the decision right.
Yeah. Yeah, and just want to continue touching on these two leagues itself. Okay. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Ben mentioned last week that Arteta's dynasty is beginning to take shape and all. I mentioned about Barca being 12 points ahead. But let's go back to the Serie A again one more time. At the top of the table is none other than Napoli. Yeah. They are, let me just check my stats, 19 points clear at the top. 19 at this stage of the season. I think it's
way ahead of the Milans, way ahead of Juventus.
Oh, definitely. Lazio is second now, but they are 19 points ahead of Lazio, who's in second place. And there's only 11 games to play. And really, I think it's the game to lose.
And do you think now, I mean, we saw that last just last podcast. We think that, since most of the Champions League teams are coming from the Italy side, do you think it's a comeback for Italy?
Oh, I really hope so. I really hope. I mean, back in the 90s, and also the early 2000s.
Showing your age, Okay, anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm proud. I grew up watching football in the 90s. I loved the 90s football. For those of you who are around the same age as me, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Let's even talk about Lazio itself, right? Let me just talk about the Rome derby. Right. Lazio versus Roma in the past, you had players like the likes of Signori, Mihailovic, you have Mancini, you have Veron, you have Totti, you have Nakata, you have Nesta. Wow. You have what? Who else? Marcangiani. There's so many players. Diego Fusel also played for Roma. Del Vecchio, Montella. I can go on and on and on and on. I mean, that was the 90s football for me. Serie A was really the top of the cream of the crop, man. Really, seriously. But coming back to Napoli itself, 19 points clear at the top of the table. They are on course to win their first Scudetto since 1990. Ooh. And that's a fun fact. The last time Napoli won the Scudetto in 1990, their captain was Diego Armando Maradona. Wow. Just saying the name just
now here's something I also want to put out to the listeners out there. But just maybe minutes before we started recording, John came in with a very fun fact about one of the Napoli star player. Yeah, one of the star player. And he came in very proudly, knowing how to pronounce the damn name. So, John, would you like to share with the listeners which player? They might have an inkling of who it is, but would you like to show it off that you can pronounce that name?
Now you put out pressure on me, right? You put on the spot,
I don't know how also. Okay.
Well, for those who have been following the Champions League at least, right, you know that Victor Osimhen, right, has been the top of the scoring charts.
150 million now.
Very underrated, actually. Everyone's been talking about Haaland, but they actually didn't really talk so much about Osimhen. But the other player that a lot of people are talking about is none other than, let me try, Kavica Kvaratskhelia. Can I say it?
I think so.
Kvaratskhelia, yeah. I actually went to Google, or I went to see the Google Translate. I actually chanced upon the Napoli's YouTube video, and Kavica himself actually pronounced his surname. Wow. So, it should be, his surname should be Kvaratskhelia. I think so. Yes, correct. Well, these two phenomenal this season. Phenomenal. They are the reason why Napoli is where they are today, top of the Serie A, and in the semi-finals of the quarterfinals, right?
I think
they're basically like the quarterfinals of the the Champions League.
Champions League.
If I remember reading an article that these two alone, they are involved in 59 of the goals that were being scored in Napoli. Yes, just the two.
Wow.
59 goal contributions between them. Freaking amazing. Bloody amazing.
I mean, yeah. So even though derbies they are no longer as mentioned as before, but yeah, we can see these sort of special highlights here and there, whether it's the players, the goals, and something we also want to highlight. Now we talk about the players, the goals, the derbies. Something that's also quite close to most people's heart, I think. Somewhere in the EPL, somewhere in the English League, we want to talk about the very controversial one, the FA Cup. One of the matches, apparently, the one with the many send-offs. And in fact, in the 70 plus minutes, all the happenings took place. John, you know what I'm talking about. It's Manchester United versus Fulham. What are your thoughts straight away? You look like you
Fulham.
have
Stupid Fulham. They were leading the game. They were 1-0 up.
Right.
If not for De Gea,
Yeah.
Fulham would have been trash United. I'm not even saying it. I'm saying it out there. Fulham were trash United. Would be trash United if not for De Gea. I'm not kidding.
You heard that from John.
I'm not even being biased about it. I'm just stating facts. I'm just spitting facts, right? But yeah, everybody knows it. What happened? I think around the 70th minute mark. Sancho got through on goal, and he actually shot against the goal. And Willian, for some reason,
Okay.
got red carded and
yeah. And that's what we want to know. I mean, for those of you, if you're a big fan of Man United or you're from the ABU camp, which I've learned it's anything but United, well, let us know what are your thoughts, because that's something we want to know. And do they really deserve the red card? Both of them. That's something we're going to talk about later on. Okay, we have that segment. But
That's right.
Those are the matches we have covered. And, if you have a match that you think is also noteworthy, let us know also. Yeah, because we only got two pairs of eyes.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many things.
We had a lot of things. Yeah, we had a lot of things to talk about.
Correct. There's so many interesting matches that took place over the last week. But we felt that these were the sound of games that we wanted to really highlight because they were really the biggest talking points.
Yeah.
I realized not so much the derbies, but I think we should bring back the derbies because we really feel that they kind of lost its spark, and we really, really hope that all these derbies will start to bring guys off the edge of the season again, get you excited about football one more time.
So let us know. How do you feel about the derbies? I mean, whether or not it's your own club, whether it's an English derby or whatever kind of derby, just let us know your thoughts. Subscribe first, of course, and then just share the comments with us, because we want to hear all these, because that way we'll be able to engage and put it in the content, because we don't want it just be between two of us. Yeah. So our next segment, of course, is something that's going to be very exciting. So, John, what is it going to be?
The next segment is none other than our Sixth Sense, where we'll give you our match predictions for the important matches that's coming up this week.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned. Welcome back to another segment of 442 Dudes, where we give you our Sixth Sense. Okay, enough of it. So what's our Sixth Sense? What's it all going to be? It's going to be on the Euro 2024 qualification matches.
That's right. But there's so many games that's going to be happening. In fact, match day, there are 2 matches for every national team. There's a total of 46 matches, 23 matches on each match day. So there are obviously too many things to focus about. So we're just going to focus on some key games which we thought might pique your interest. So for our predictions for this week, there are 7 matches that we are going to be focusing on, and our predictions should be coming up on screen as well. So you can just follow all these predictions on screen. However, I think this is something that we need to say, right? That these are just our predictions. It's for the purpose, for the discussion of this podcast, and we do not actually condone any gambling.
Yeah,
right?
Just entertainment lah.
Yes, correct. Right. So now before we go into the predictions itself, the more discussion about the predictions, I think I just wanted to highlight a little bit about the new format for this qualifiers.
Okay.
Right? I mean, there's a
new. So is it good or bad way?
I think let's share.
Yeah.
Let's share first, and then you guys decide whether you think it's a good or a bad way, right? So, for this new format itself, the qualifiers will be including two different categories or two different ways where they're going to rank and decide who qualifies for Euro 2024. So, as you guys know, there are a total of 24 teams that will be qualifying for Euro 2024.
Okay.
Germany is automatically included because they are the host. So, how are they going to decide who are the remaining 23 teams? Right? They're going to decide over a standardized, the usual classical European qualifiers.
Okay.
Where there are 10 groups this time round. 10 groups, and the top 2 teams from each group will automatically qualify.
Okay.
So that takes up 20 teams, right? So 20 plus 1, Germany, that makes up 21. So how are they going to decide the remaining 3 teams? Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. This is where the new formatting comes in. They are going to pick 12 teams.
Okay.
All right. Based on their performances in the recently concluded UEFA Nations League season 22-23, which means it's already concluded, right? And they're going to take the top, or basically the group winners of Leagues 1A, Leagues B, and League C. So every league in the UEFA Nations League, right, has 4 groups, right? So 3 leagues, 4 winners, that makes up 12 teams, right? So from these 12 teams, they will go into a playoff, like starting with a semi-final, right? And then finally, they will go into the finals, where they will pick the 3 winners from the finals. And these 3 winners will join the remaining 21 teams and form Euro 2024. Now, here's what I think.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Why?
I don't know. It seems that, in the first place, why do you want to bring UEFA Nations League into contention for this qualifiers?
Yes.
Because at the end of it, I just feel that including UEFA Nations League is kind of just, I know it's a bit sensitive but I feel that it's more of, they just want more money
Oh, more tickets here
Yeah so it kind of defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? Why can't you just go straight into the classical European qualifiers, so on and so forth? Just straight up, booms, From there, you decide who are the 23 teams. Why do you need to go on the UEFA Nations League?
Well, I think also it's because, we are in this era where everybody has to be a winner. There is no loser at all. So, at the end, I'm not saying that, people from the other ones are the loser. It's just that, they're trying to include more winners More winners. And if you do well, then we will reward you. So, I think we're entering into this era. I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure about the people that are watching or listening, but I feel very personally that we are entering, outside of football as well, we're just entering into this world where you cannot lose. You will win no matter what. And if you're going to lose, you will get a consolation prize. And if you're going to win, you're going to win. But if you lose, you will get some form of prize. There is no just lose. So I think that's something that's where I stand. Not only do they want more money, I think who does want more money that's why they organize all this kind of thing, right? But second, I think they just don't want any sort of losers Okay.
Okay.
Losers
Okay. So if I want to think from a positive viewpoint, right? Let's think positive. Yeah. So the 12 teams that have already been so-called selected, right? They have an advantage because they won their leagues, right? Among the 12 teams, I think there's quite a number of them which will have a higher chance of qualifying for European Championship for the very, very first time. I'll just name off some. Kazakhstan is one of them. Georgia is one of them.
Okay.
Greece won Euro 24, but they haven't been doing well. Greece is another one of them. So we will likely be seeing our nation qualifying for the Euros for the very first time in 2024. So so if from a positive point of view, I think maybe that helps.
If it was our country, but apparently not. There's no Singapore but if it was our country, then of course we'd be happy because we then have a chance to go in.
Well, so the lesser known nations now have a bigger chance of qualifying.
To go in.
All right, so now let's go straight into the predictions itself. So what do we have?
What do we have? Don't forget to see my predictions because I have my own prediction as well. And so, John, I'm going to throw this to you. We're going to pick a match, okay? We all have our different predictions here. Now, you're going to pick a match, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Which match would you like to have a friendly, I got to put right there, friendly wager on? I'm going to tell you what's the sort of wager, but I'm going to give you the chance since this is out of nowhere. Okay, tell us which match you want to pick, just randomly. Which one would you like to compare our predictions with?
Ours,
France,
Netherlands.
Okay, so what is your prediction for France and Netherlands?
My prediction is 2-1 to France.
Okay, so he has said 2-1 to France. I'm just gonna play around and I put 2-2 I put 2-2. So here's what's gonna happen. Now, if you're correct, where you say 2-1, correct? and France wins, then as long as they win lah, we will make it just nice. If they win doesn't have to be 2-1, we'll give it to you. Okay, we're saying it right here. Now I say they draw, so I say 2-2. Now 1-1, 3-3. As long as they draw, we shall agree that it's still a draw. Correct?
Okay.
So for you it's a win, and for myself it's a draw. Now in the next podcast, we're gonna by then find out what's the result. Or based on France and Netherlands. Now, if Netherlands, that's what you said, if France win, then in your favor, I will sing your football club song.
Oh!
I will sing 2 lines of his football club song. But if they draw, you will sing 2 lines of my football club song.
Your football club got song meh?
Yeah lah, Chelsea lah.
Got song meh?
Got song lah, beach. This kind of guy,
I
tell you.
didn't know there was a song.
Okay, so we're on. We do some
we
friendly.
Are the Purple Lions.
Okay, anyway, that's because you see he's very hungry. I think that's why he's just randomly singing all these songs. But yeah, speaking of predictions, now he has said France and Netherlands. He thinks France is going to win, and I think they're going to draw. Yeah, and if they lose, then nothing happens to us lah.
Okay,
yeah,
so speaking of correct predictions itself.
Yes, what about correct prediction? You were saying.
Well, last week we actually gave you some predictions, right? And I think
we did lah.
Not too bad. We did quite well, right?
It's quite good with it.
Out of 8 matches, we actually got 1 match. Absolutely spot on. And some other matches, in terms of scores, we didn't get it spot on. But I think in terms of who won, even the draws, I think we were not too bad, right? Yeah. In the FA Cup, we actually underestimated the team. I predicted, Brighton to win 4-0, but they won 5-0. You predicted City to win 4-0, they won 6-0 and everything. Yeah, but I think we predicted a high scoring game.
And all these are just for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
Again, we're just letting you all know we're not encouraging any form of gambling lah. It's just a friendly wager. Okay, the only thing we had was he's gonna sing Chelsea football song, and I'm gonna sing hopefully not You'll Never Walk Alone, that kind of thing. And by now in this episode, they would have already known our club's allegiance anyway. So
Well, anyway, so that's our predictions for the upcoming matches this week. There's a Euro 2024 qualifiers, match day 1.
Exactly, and don't forget you can always go on that little Spotify play thingy, just roll a little bit behind to hear the prediction, or you can always go to YouTube to check out that little prediction that's beside our faces as well. So don't forget to just pause right there. Yeah, pause right there.
That's right. Okay, so coming up next in the next segment, we will be focusing on some interesting happenings that's taking place in the world of football with the segment titled "What's What with Who's Who."
So we'll look out for you. See you. Action. And welcome back to another segment of 442 Dudes. So
I was supposed to say dude.
Yeah, I was supposed to say lah.
Sorry.
Yeah lah, musket. Anyway, this is the segment we call What's What and
Who's Who.
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad. Chemistry there.
Okay. We got it there.
Okay, so for this segment, as again we mentioned earlier, this is to talk about interesting things that's been happening over the last week with regards to the football world. So Ben, what do you have with us for us today? Actually?
Again, I think I'm a strong advocate that football it transcends beyond just the field. Last podcast we talked about the whole unity that football brought. Yeah, and this one for this podcast, I want to talk about something that it doesn't matter which club you support. There is unity there as well, and this is something that not a lot of people talk about. Earlier on, we talked about the derby, the rivalries, and all that. But this one, I want to point out very, very as sharp as I can: the Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Yeah, that particular match. Okay, David, why you laugh again lah?
Correct.
Pronounce correct or not? See, even my iPad cannot tahan. Anyway, so David Brooks, he featured for them, and I thought that was quite good lah. When he came on the pitch, the fans from both sides were just applauding him. And what's so special about this boy? This boy, after what? According to this news that I can see here, after 536 days away from the sport he loved, David Brooks finally made his comeback. And of all the stories through the years, it's about whether like Christian Eriksen about the heart issue and all that, and also fans when they had the heart problem also, I think in one of the matches.
So, a few matches in fact.
So all these, when we hear about how football unites everyone, it's a very heartwarming lah.
It's very, very heartening. And it's funny you mentioned Eriksen because just this week, there's another big news that took place. That's very close to the heart. No pun intended.
Okay.
Lucas actually announced his retirement. Lucas, or Liverpool fame, he went on to play for Lazio as well. He announced his retirement earlier this week at the age of 36 rather. And it was not because he didn't want to play or he was tired, but rather he was forced to retire because of a heart condition. And it's very sad to hear this kind of news, because I believe no player wants to retire in this manner. But interestingly, Lucas is not the first player to be forced to retire because of a heart condition. So most of you will remember Aguero also was forced to retire. Not just him, but Iker Casillas as well was forced to retire to a heart condition. And growing up, I also remember watching the football game between Bolton and Tottenham where Fabrice Muamba just collapsed in the field. He's thankfully he's still alive today, but he was also forced to retire because of heart condition, as well as Lilian Thuram. For those of you that might not know, Thuram was also forced to retire because of a heart condition. But I just want to say over here, there was actually an article that mentioned to actually quell the rumors, about how COVID actually is has a part to play. This article by a doctor actually said that players having this condition, right, has nothing to do with COVID, but it's actually due to the increasing number of matches that the players are playing, and also the high intensity they're playing the matches at, right? So that's what's causing all these issues. All right, so that concludes our segment of What's What, Who's Who, where we were really heartened to hear of the unity within football. And also, I'm just glad that the players who were forced to retire because of heart conditions, they can still carry on life as it is, and enjoy their life.
Iron Robin, Eric Abidal, I believe, as well. So all these people.
Yep, that's right. So that's What's What, Who's Who. So stay tuned for Onions of the Week, and this week's Onions, I think, is going to be very, very contentious.
Yeah. And if you were listening to our previous segment, we also troubled a little hint about what it is. So we'll see you for the onion part.
See you soon.
Yeah. Just gonna find the onion now lah. But yeah, onion part.
Huh? What did you say?
And welcome back to can make me cry, Onions of the Week. This is the part where we share the onions and also equally known as the unpopular opinions of the week. So John, what is it that I don't know, it's so we want to say, but
I'll just say it loud, since you cannot say, because I'm not afraid to cry. I want to touch on players' attitudes for this week's Onions.
Okay.
Right? And this is my opinion. You're probably 99% going to agree with me. I think players these days are very, very soft and very, very entitled.
Okay.
What do I mean? They are going down at the very, very slightest touch. I touch you only, you fall down.
Yeah. And
right? And they cry and make noise, complain to the ref and everything, expect them to give them a foul, so on and so forth. Some players come to mind straight away, like Neymar, right? Neymar. Zaha also does that.
Okay.
And also Bruno, but someone's going to kill me for saying that. But Bruno Fernandes. Right, you agree with me, right?
Bruno.
Right, Bruno, right? Right, comes to mind. So these are the players that come to mind straight away, right? They're going out at slightest charge. Sometimes they just want, they keep crying out for a foul. Yeah. And in my opinion, I think the referee should be doing this, right? They should stamp out all these behaviors.
Okay.
And they should give them a mandatory yellow card every time they do that. Similar to how players are given a yellow card straight away for taking off their shirt in celebrations. I think referees should also get a yellow card for crying.
All these falls, dive, and
the
Olympic dives.
The Karens of the football world, right? Neymar, Zaha, and Bruno. So I think this is one of the things that I want. I have a gripe with, the players' attitudes, and in another instance, right? I also want to say that players' attitudes come into play because I think they give up too easily. Similar in the sense that they expect the ref to give a foul, but instead of falling down at the slightest touch, but they just stop playing completely. Okay. And what do I mean by that? I'll just give you two examples that took place this week.
Yes.
One was in the English Premier League.
Okay.
All right. Between Leeds and Wolves.
Okay.
All right. I think Wolves were losing 2-3 at the time. It was around the last minute. Adama Traore had the ball, and then some player kind of pulled his shirt. There's a tug of the shirt itself.
Yeah.
And then he just gave up. He just started, swearing and everything. But Leeds, the referee signal play on. Leeds went on and they scored the fourth goal of the game. And the Wolves was pretty much angry. I think Matthias Nunes got sent off for that as well. But This is what I mean, like there's this referees, or not just referees but coaches, even from grassroots level, from the academies level, they always tell players this: play to the whistle. If the grassroots level, if amateur Sunday leagues are doing that, why can't professionals do that? Right? Play to the whistle. Why do you need to just stop there, stop playing out completely, and then true enough, the opponents go and score.
I mean, you were saying that. So could it be because the whatever the amateur leagues or whatever? Could it be that they feel that the referee has an authority, but when you come to the higher leagues, the top tier leagues like EPL for instance, do they feel like never mind, I'm a superstar of my right, therefore maybe the referee. So that's where we're going.
So they're feeling entitled, right? So again, the attitude got problem lah. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel it's wrong. It's not just that. So that's Traore, right? The second example is Tyler Morton. Tyler Morton is on loan to Blackburn from Liverpool itself. So he played in the FA Cup quarterfinal against Sheffield United. Yeah. And same thing happened. He was trying to shoot the ball from one of the Sheffield United players, accidentally brushed his face, and then he just fell down on the floor, lying out there throughout. Yeah. Sheffield United went on to score. And Sheffield United went through. So in these two instances, it's very crucial. Why? Because in the Wolves-Leeds game, as I mentioned last week, goal difference will likely be playing a very, very crucial role in the relegation battle. Yeah. So every goal counts. Yeah. Right? Leeds went on to score. Now, for their game itself, their goal difference had a +2. If Traore didn't, cry foul, they might have gone on to got an equalizer, or at the very least not concede a second goal. Right, and in the case of Blackburn's game, obviously, if they continued, they might have gone to extra time. Yeah, and they could have gone on to win the game. They might be going to Wembley for the semi-finals in the FA Cup. So, in these two instances, I feel that players' attitudes actually kind of changed the game a little bit for that game itself, for the match itself. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as I've compared earlier, the amateur leagues to the professional leagues. At the end of the day, like what you said, are they self-entitled? Do they feel that their status as a known player, as a celebrity player, as a star player, does that change the way they see the referees? I mean, at the end of the day, is that the attitude that they give? But then we have people, and I've said it last week, I'll say it this week again, I have to say his name, Erling Haaland. We got people like Erling Haaland who is scoring many goals. But apparently, according to a lot of articles, a very polite man. Very polite man. When someone falls down, he tries to help them, be up, opponent or not opponent. He thanks the referee, whether they lose or not, whether City loses or not. But they don't really when he's on the team. But yeah, so I mean, he's a star player. I mean, he's a young star player, but he's not doing what we think people like what you said, Neymar, Bruno Fernandes are doing. So I think at the end of the day, it's the player's attitude. Which then brings me, because we're talking about Manchester now. So I talked about Man City, but let's go on to the red side of Manchester, which is the match of the FA Cup as well. Yep. And you talk about attitudes. Now, let's zoom in the attitude of what happened between Manchester United versus Fulham. Now, what are your thoughts? Because you were the one that's saying about the attitudes. You were the one that's saying that they shouldn't cry foul. But in this case, it wasn't just crying foul. It was a lot of things built up in tension that didn't just get one player sent off. It got two players sent off. And I believe manager as well.
Yes, that's right.
So that's three.
Yeah, I mean, this topic, I think, is so contentious. I mean, this is probably the topic of the week, if you ask me, and everything. And do I agree with all the sending offs? The short answer, yes. Willian, professional foul. Yeah. Off. He accepted it.
Yeah, he accepted it.
Cool. I think this is where the problem lies. It's not just the players, but sometimes managers also play a role. So Marco Silva was sent off by Chris Kavanagh while he was viewing the footage on the VAR screen. And he was sent off for allegedly, and I say again, he was sent off for allegedly hurling abuse at the ref. And I actually went to see the footage itself.
Yeah, the video.
He actually walked over, started pointing, and I think probably he probably sweat and everything. Then Chris Kavanagh just straight away gave him a red card, which I really applaud, because I think this is something that referees should also make a stand for themselves. Now, a lot has been said about arrests, but I think in this instance, I want to give the referees credit for doing that. And in the case of Mitrovic, well, what can you say?
I don't agree with what he has done.
I think none of us condones his behavior, right? You don't touch a referee.
I will agree of the emotions. I think it's fine to be angry, but I don't think you have to take it out on the official. He's done his part.
Exactly.
And your teammate did that foul.
Correct.
Accept it. But it's okay to be angry, I think. That's just me. I think it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay for you to put it on the referee.
That is true, but so it's not just about him pushing the referee, but it's after even after getting the red card, he still went on berating Chris Kavanagh and right in his face. Probably all the saliva was on his face. Really, you also never know, right?
Yeah.
So, but I just think it's something that is this behavior should not be condoned. Why? Because there are millions of children watching this. They will follow all these professional players, and you are meant to set a good example. If you're going to condone that kind of action, then I feel you are sending a wrong message to the whole world. It's not just the football world, but the whole world itself. Because what you're doing here is that you are going against authority, because the referee is meant to be a figure of authority, isn't it? Right? So you don't go against that because he is the referee. He says it all, isn't it? He controls the game. He gives the fouls and everything. So you don't do that. And up to that point, as I mentioned earlier, Fulham was in control. Yeah. And the moment they got sent off, Fulham basically just collapsed, and United went on to win 3-1. Yeah. United scored all 3 goals after the sending offs. Yep. So if they managed to keep their cool, they might have just gone to the semi-finals.
They might have. In fact, they were doing quite well.
Exactly.
They were doing quite well. So, really, for those of you who've been following that match, you can also let us know what you feel. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let us know. We want to hear. You may have your views, and we respect that.
That's right, guys. So that ends our episode for this week, and the last segment as well, called Onions of the Week. So I know that we've been talking a lot of different topics today. So if any comments, any feedback that you may have, feel free to write it in the comment section, write it on our YouTube channel, write it on our Facebook channel, our Instagram channels. We just really want to hear from you guys, because we just want to keep this engagement going as well, right, Ben?
We do. And ultimately, this is a platform for us. Just 2 Singaporean dudes all the way from the little red dot in Singapore. So for those of you who don't know where Singapore is, it's very hard for you to find. We're just a little red dot on the globe. So we're just 2 Singaporean dudes who love the football game. And we just want to share our love for the football game and our passion as well. And we want to hear your passion.
Alright, so see you guys next week for episode 3 of 442 Dudes.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Did you know that there was a guy who urinated and got yellow card? Red card. Just want to say, former Juventus player got red card. Yeah.
OBS is rolling, we are good to go.
And action. Welcome back to another episode of 442. And we are about to say that word, I know. See his mouth. We see his mouth. But let's do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dudes. What happened?
You must give me warning, love, fuck. Okay.